Hello children, welcome to 12th standard botany class. I hope all are fine and safe by the grace of God. Today we are going to learn chapter 7, ecosystem. It is the continuation of the previous class. If you are ready, let us recall what we have learned in our previous class. Shall we? Okay. What is ecosystem? Ecosystem is the study of interaction between the living and non-living components. In our last class, we discussed the structure of ecosystem, functions of ecosystem. Ecosystem comprises of two components, namely biotic and abiotic. Abiotic components means what? It includes edaphic factor, climatic factor, topographic factor, organic and inorganic components. Whereas biotic components. Biotic here, it includes plants, animals, fungi and bacteria. On the basis of the nutritional relationship, it is divided into autotrophic and heterotrophic. Functions of ecosystem. Functions of ecosystem includes energy creation, sharing of energy and cycling of materials between living and non-living components. So, we have completed in our previous class what is ecosystem, structure of ecosystem and functions of ecosystem. In our today's class, we are going to start with what are the concept of trophic level in an ecosystem. Trophic level. What is trophic? It is a Greek word meaning to food or feeding. Okay. Now, what is trophic level? A trophic level refers to the position of the organism in a food chain. Position of an organism in a food chain is called as what? Trophic level. Number of trophic level is equal to the number of steps in the food chain. Okay. Number of trophic level is equal to the number of steps in the food chain. Okay. Here, let us see with the example. Here, trophic level 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, autotrophs. What are autotrophs? The best example is what? Plants. Because they are the only living organism which can prepare their own food by the process called photosynthesis. Here, plants are producers. Okay. Here, green plants. This produces the food which is produced by producers is utilized by other animals, that is plant eaters. They are called herbivores. Okay. Here producers occupy the first trophic level. The food which is produced by the producers is being utilized by the plant eaters, herbivores. That is occupied the second trophic level. Herbivores is otherwise known as what? Primary consumers. Primary consumers occupy the second trophic level. Now, this primary consumers is being eaten by primary carnivores. Primary carnivores, that is secondary consumers. Secondary consumers is otherwise known as primary carnivores. Now, this plant eating animals is being eaten by the carnivores. Okay, they are primary carnivores, otherwise known as secondary consumers, occupies the third trophic level. Now, this carnivores is eaten by secondary carnivore, which is otherwise known as tertiary consumers. Now, this tertiary consumers occupy the fourth trophic level. Okay, so producers, energy is being utilized by what? Herbivore. Herbivore is a primary consumer. Primary consumer. Now, this herbivore is eaten by carnivore. Okay, primary carnivore, otherwise known as secondary consumer. Again, this secondary consumer is being eaten by the tertiary consumer, which is otherwise known as what? Secondary carnivore. So, like this, it occupies the first trophic level by producer, second trophic level by primary consumer, third trophic level by secondary consumer, fourth trophic level by tertiary consumer. Now, there is another trophic level above this, that is called as omnivore. What is omnivore? These organisms eat both plants as well as the animals. Okay, so such type of organism are called as what? Omnivores. Now, this occupies the topmost trophic level. Okay, next trophic level. Energy flow. What is energy flow? The transfer of energy from between trophic levels in an ecosystem is called as what? Energy flow. The transfer of energy between the trophic levels in an ecosystem is called as what? Energy flow. Here, part of the energy which is obtained from the sun by the producer is transferred to consumers and decomposes through each trophic level. While some of the energy is dissipated in the form of heat. Dissipated means wasted in the form of the heat. Okay, here energy transfer, that is transfer of energy, is always unidirectional. Okay, in an ecosystem, always in a unidirectional. Uni means what? One direction. Okay, here if you see, from producer to herbivore to energy transfers from producer to herbivore to carnivore, again carnivore to decomposes. Okay, here bacteria and fungi decomposes, microorganisms are present. Here plants also can die and then it decomposes, is it not? So again this from the plants, that is microorganism, bacteria and fungi that decomposes that matter, again it become a manure for the plants, is it not? So likewise it is always in a unidirection. Always the transfer of energy in the form of what? Unidirection in an ecosystem. The storage and loss of energy is based on two laws of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics and second law of thermodynamics. What does first law of thermodynamics states? It states that energy can be transformed from one system to the another system in various forms, but it cannot be created or destroyed. Okay, it can be transferred from one system to the another system. As a result of this, the quantity of energy present in the universe is constant. For example, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the best example. What happens here? During photosynthesis, here the product is starch. Okay, the product starch, it have energy, is it not? It got energy. The storage energy which is present in the starch is the combination of the reactants, that is carbon dioxide, water and chlorophyll. By the combination of these reactants only the product starch is present. Here the energy which is stored in the starch is obtained from the light, from the sunlight. So there is no loss or gain in the total energy. There is no loss or gain in the total energy. Okay, so here light energy is converted into chemical energy. Light energy is converted into what? Chemical energy. So what is first law of thermodynamics? It states that transfer of energy from one system to the another system in various forms. Here energy cannot be created or destroyed. Second law of thermodynamics. What does second law of thermodynamics states? It states that energy transformation results in the reduction of free energy in the system. Usually energy transformation cannot be 100% efficient. As a result of that is energy transfer from one trophic level to the another trophic level, only 10% of the energy is stored in the living tissues. Remaining 90% is lost in the form of heat through respiration. It is a irreversible natural process. Example for the second law of thermodynamics is 10% law. 10% law was proposed by Lindemann in 1942. What is 10% law states? It states that the energy transfer from one trophic level to the another trophic level, only 10% of that is stored in the trophic level. Remaining 90% of that is lost in the form of heat, decomposition and through respiration. Okay, so here 10% law is best example for this. Now let us see with an example. That is here producers. Producers are what? Plants. Is it not? These producers, they trap 1000 joules of solar energy is trapped by producers. Producers are plants. Okay. Now the 1000 joules, out of 1000 joules, only 100 joules is stored as chemical energy through photosynthesis. Okay, now at this tropic level, first tropic level, only 100 joule is stored here. Okay, now next tropic level, herbivores, that is primary consumers. Here at first tropic level, out of 1000 joules, only 100 joules is stored here as energy, but remaining 900 joule is dissipated in the environment as heat. Okay, when from one tropic level, when the energy transferred to the next tropic level, that is herbivores, which feed on producers. Okay, here when the energy transfer from one tropic level to the next tropic level, only it stores 10 joule. Remaining 90 joule is dissipated in the form of heat. Okay, so from one tropic level to the next tropic level, there is loss of 90 joule in the environment. Okay, now the next level, next third tropic level, carnivores are present. Now these carnivores which eat herbivores, when the energy transfer from this tropic level to the next tropic level, here the energy stored is only 1 joule. Remaining 9 joule is dissipated in the form of water, heat. Okay, now here when 10 joule present in this tropic level, when the energy transfer from this tropic level to the next tropic level, it stores, carnivore stores only 1 joule, remaining 9 joule is dissipated. Now carnivores, this is eaten by tertiary consumers. Okay, now when the energy transfer from one tropic level to the next tropic level, here this fourth tropic level, it stores the energy only 0.1 joule, 0.1 joule. Remaining that is 0.9 joule is dissipated in the form of what? Heat. Okay, so producers, when there is energy transfer from one tropic level to the another tropic level, there is 10% energy is stored. Okay, remaining it is lost in the form of what? In the form of heat. Okay, in the environment. So from producer, it's producers at first tropic level, it stores only 100 joule. Remaining 900 is dissipated in the form of heat. Then next tropic level, that is primary consumer or herbivores, it stores only 10 joules. Here 90%, 90 joule is lost. Whereas third tropic level, secondary consumers, they are carnivores, it stores only 1 joule. Here 9, that is 10 minus 1, 9 joule is lost in the form of heat. Then third tropic level to the fourth tropic level, it stores only 0.1 joule. Remaining 0.9 joule is lost in the form of heat. So thus at successive tropic level, only 10% energy is stored. Food chain. What is food chain? The movement of energy from producer to top carnivores is called as what? Food chain. That is, in any food chain, the energy flow from producer to primary consumer to secondary consumer to tertiary consumer. Okay, so the movement of energy from producer to top carnivore. Here if you see means, hence the link is in the form of linear network links. Linear network links. There are two types of food chain, namely grazing food chain and detritus food chain. Okay, now let us see what is grazing food chain. Grazing food chain, here the main source of energy is sun. Okay, so here plants get they obtain energy from the sunlight. So with the help of that sunlight, they prepare their own food. So here producers, the first link in the food chain is producers. example plants, is it not? So here from the producer, the second link in the food chain is primary consumer. Primary consumer here example is mouse. This primary consumer, they get food from the producer. Okay, the third link in the food chain is secondary consumer. Secondary consumer, they get food from the primary consumer. That is secondary consumer example snake. So snake, they eat what? Mouse. Then fourth link is, that is fourth link in the food chain is tertiary consumer. They get food from the secondary consumer. Tertiary consumer example eagle. Eagle eat what? Snake. Okay, so this is how there is flow of energy from producer to the top carnivore. Detritus food chain. What is detritus food chain? The second type of food chain is detritus food chain. Here the main source of energy is dead organic matter. Okay, so here this food chain begins with dead organic matter. The main source also here dead organic matter. A large amount of dead organic matter is derived from dead plants, animals and their excreta. This type of food chain is present in all ecosystems. Okay, and then here the transfer of energy from dead organic matter is transferred through number of organisms, that is called as what? Detritus consumers. Detritus consumers. And then from detritus consumers, that is to next to small carnivore and then to the top carnivore. So first this food chain begins with what? Dead organic matter, that is detritus, fallen leaves. Okay, மக்கி போன அந்த இலைகள்லாம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அது இலை உதிர்ந்து இருக்குது இல்லையா, அது எல்லாமே dead organic matter. And the next one is, it is eaten by what? Earthworm, which is a detritus consumers or detritivores. The next one, earthworm is being eaten by blackbird, okay, which is a small carnivore. And then this small carnivore is being eaten by hawk, which is a top carnivore. So like this, it begins with dead organic matter and the food chain completes with what? Top carnivore. So here the food is repeatedly eating and then being eaten repeatedly. Okay, so this type of food chain is called as what? Detritus food chain. Food web. What is food web? The interlocking patterns of number of food chains form a web-like arrangement is called food web. This food web is the basic unit of an ecosystem to maintain stability in nature. Hence it is called homeostasis. For example, in grazing food chain of grassland, if there is an absence of rabbit, the mouse eat food grains. The mouse directly eaten by hawk, or the mouse is eaten by snake and the snake is directly eaten by hawk. Hence, the interlocking patterns in the food chain and the species in the ecosystem remains balanced to each other. Okay. With this we complete what is food web with the example of grazing food chain of grassland. Now let us see the significance of food web. The first significance is food web is used to construct. Food web is constructed to describe the species interaction. Species interaction called direct interaction. Next significance is this food web is used to illustrate the indirect interactions. Okay, indirect interaction among the different species. Next, this food web is used to study the bottom up and top down of community structure. That is control of community structure. Bottom up and top down. Okay, so bottom up, கீழ இருந்து மேல and மேல இருந்து கீழ வந்து top down. So control of community structure. And the next significance is it is used to reveal the different patterns of energy transfer in terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem. So these are the significances of food web. Ecological pyramids. What is ecological pyramids? A graphical representation of trophic structure and function at successive trophic levels is called ecological pyramids. It was introduced by Charles Elton in 1927. Hence it is called as Eltonian pyramids. There are three types of ecological pyramids. They are pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass and pyramid of energy. Now let us learn what is pyramid of number. Pyramid of number, it means graphical representation of the number of organisms present at each trophic level. That is called as what? Pyramid of number. This pyramid of number, again it is divided into three types, namely upright, spindle and inverted. What is upright? Example for upright is grassland and pond ecosystem. Is the best example for upright ecosystem. Here generally from the bottom, okay, that is it gradually decrease. Okay, so it is upright in shape, and here the T1, that is first trophic level, if you see, means producers are more in number and gradually decreases from one trophic level to the next trophic level. So hence it is called as what? Upright in the shape. Example for this is grassland and producer. So producers are more in number. When compared to the producers, primary consumers are lesser, and when compared to the second trophic level, the third trophic level, again it is lesser, that is secondary consumers. Again third trophic level to fourth trophic level, it is again lesser, okay, that is tertiary consumers. So gradually from producer to tertiary consumer, it gradually decreases, okay. So it is upright, example grassland and pond ecosystem. Next one is spindle shape, okay. So example for this is forest ecosystem. So this is a little bit different from the others, okay, because here if you see, means the first trophic level, that is a tree, it occupied by first trophic level occupied by trees. It is big in size and number of trees are lesser in number, okay. And next trophic level, if you see, means it is occupied by, that is second trophic level, it is occupied by fruit eating birds, elephant, deer, etc. Okay, now these are more in number when compared to the producers. Then third trophic level, if you see, means again it is lesser than the second trophic level. Lesser than the second trophic level. Now third trophic level is occupied by fox, snake and so on. Now when compared to the third trophic level, that is fourth trophic level is lesser than the third trophic level. Fourth trophic level is occupied by lion. So each trophic level, if you see, means it is different in the shape at each successive trophic levels. So it forms a spindle shape. The best example for this spindle shape ecosystem is forest ecosystem. Next one is inverted. Okay, third type of pyramid number is called inverted. That is parasite ecosystem. Parasite ecosystem. This ecosystem, it is the first trophic level, if you see, means it is lesser than the second trophic level. Okay, so it is inverted. The fourth trophic level is more than the T3, that is third trophic level, and then the T2 and then the T1. So if you see, means there is a gradual increase from trophic level 1 to 4. There is a gradual increase from the trophic level 1 to 4. So it is inverted. The best example for this inverted ecosystem is parasite ecosystem. So these are the three types of ecosystem based on pyramid of number: upright, spindle, inverted. Pyramid of biomass. What is pyramid of biomass? A graphical representation of organic matter, that is amount of organic matter present at each trophic level is called as what? Pyramid of biomass. Okay, amount of organic matter present at each trophic level in an ecosystem is called as what? Pyramid of biomass. In grassland and forest ecosystem, if you see, means the bottom of the pyramid, that is the T1, that is first trophic level, it is occupied by the producers. Okay, and then towards the upper, if you see, means there is a gradual decrease from one trophic level to the next trophic level, that is from producer to tertiary consumer, it shows what? Gradual decrease. So grassland and forest ecosystem shows upright in shape. Okay. Next, however, if you see in pond ecosystem, here the trophic level first, that is the first trophic level, it is occupied by small organisms, that is producers, occupied by producers, that is small organisms, which is least in biomass, okay, which shows least biomass. Here towards the upper, if you see, means gradually it increases, in the next trophic level. So pond ecosystem shows inverted in shape, okay. Next one is called pyramid of energy. Here, what is pyramid of energy? A graphical representation of the energy flow from one trophic level to the next trophic level is called as pyramid of energy. Here, for example, if you see, means it also show gradual decrease. Okay, so here the first trophic level, it is occupied by producers. Next trophic level, if you see, means there is a gradual decrease. Okay, in second trophic level and towards the upper, from producer till tertiary consumer, it shows a gradual decrease. So it is also pyramid of energy, always it is what? Upright in shape. So with this we complete what three types of pyramids, that is pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass and pyramid of energy. Decomposition process is very important and essential for the recycling and balancing of nutrients in an ecosystem. For that process, decomposition is very important. Okay, what is decomposition? Decomposition, it is a process of breakdown of detritus into simple organic matter by decomposes, that is called as, okay, அதாவது detritus வந்து breakdown ஆயிட்டு simple organic matter மாறுறது by decomposes here microbes such as earthworm, bacteria, fungi and so on. Okay, so breakdown of detritus into simple organic matter by decomposes is called decomposition. Okay, so the process of decomposition varies based on the nature of decomposition. Okay, so based on the nature of decomposition, it varies. That is, for example, carbohydrate, protein and fats, they decompose rapidly than the cellulose, lignin, chitin, hair and bone. Okay, so carbohydrate, fat and proteins decompose rapidly. And then next, let us learn mechanism of decomposition. Is a stepwise degradation of organic matter. It involves enzymatic reactions. Okay, so here it is a stepwise manner. Here detritus act as a raw material for decomposition. Detritus means what? Dead leaves or dead plants, animals and their excreta. Okay, it occurs in following steps. Okay, that is fragmentation, catabolism, leaching, humidification and mineralization. So these are the steps involved in decomposition. Now let us learn what is fragmentation. Fragmentation means breakdown. So here fragmentation, here the breakdown of detritus into smaller particles by decomposers. Okay, such as fungi, bacteria and earthworm. Here it will secrete, that is during this conversion it secretes certain enzymes in order to enhance the fragmentation process and to increase the surface of the detritus. Okay, so the breakdown of detritus into smaller particles by decomposers is called as what? Fragmentation. Next step is catabolism. This is also again a breakdown process only. Here the breakdown of organic and inorganic substances into simple ones, okay, into simpler ones. Here during this process it secretes some extracellular enzymes. With the help of these enzymes, the breakdown of organic and inorganic substances into simpler ones is called as what? By decomposers is called as what? Catabolism. Next one is called leaching. Leaching is otherwise known as eleviation. Okay, so what is leaching? Here the movement of decomposed, okay, decomposed or water soluble organic and inorganic compounds from the surface to the lower layer of the soil is called as what? Leaching. Okay, the movement of water soluble, organic and inorganic and also degraded or decomposed matter into from the surface to the lower layer of the soil is called as what? Leaching or elevation. Next one is called humidification. What is humidification? It is a process by which the simplified detritus is changed into dark colored amorphous substance. Dark colored amorphous substance, that is called as humus. This humus is rich in nutrients. Okay, so here this humus is resistant to microbial action, so that the decomposition is very slow. Okay, now next step is mineralization. What is mineralization? Some microbes are involved in the release of inorganic substances, okay, from the humus of the soil. Okay, so some microbes are involved in the release of the inorganic substance from the humus of the soil. That is called as what? Mineralization, which is the last step in the decomposition. Okay, next is factors affecting decomposition. There are certain factors which involved which affect the decomposition, such as temperature, soil moisture, soil pH, oxygen and so on. So these are the factors which affect the decomposition. With this we complete what is decomposition, nature of decomposition, mechanism of decomposition. Okay, children, in our today's class we have completed concepts of trophic level in an ecosystem, energy flow, laws of thermodynamics, what is food chain, food web, ecological pyramids, and then decomposition and the steps involved in decomposition. If you have any doubt, you can contact me. Thank you, children.